Welcome back to Cinecaps. Today I will show you a drama, fantasy, romance film from 2015, titled The Age of Adaline. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. December 31, 2014. One afternoon in San Francisco, Adaline Bowman buys fake IDs at an apartment before returning home to feed her dog. Her apartment is filled with all sorts of old-fashioned items. Then she goes to work opening a box of film reels highlighting historical events and times. She closes the blinds and turns on the projector to watch one of the film reels. Adaline was the first baby born in San Francisco on New Year's Day in 1908. She later married, and gave birth to a daughter, Fleming, only to become a widow after her husband died in a tragic accident during the construction of the Golden Gate Bridge in 1937. 10 months later, Adaline had poor visibility on the road during a snowstorm and crashed her car into a ravine. She died in the freezing lake, but lightning struck her car and she came back from the dead. From that moment on, Adaline physically remained 29 years old. As time passed, she attributed her unchanging appearance to a combination of good diet, exercise, and luck. It becomes increasingly obvious that something is wrong as her daughter Fleming grows older, but she remains the same. One day she is pulled over by a policeman who takes away her ID as it says she is in her late 40s. She decides to move away and is research at a medical school for a year, but cannot find an explanation for her condition that she cannot age. One night as she is leaving college, she is approached by two suspicious FBI agents who force her into a car and tell her they are going to run some tests. They drive to a plane and while they are distracted, she manages to escape captivity. Adaline realizes that she will have to spend the rest of her life on the run. Since then, she has changed her name, place of residence, and appearance to match the times, while her daughter Fleming ages normally, making her appear older than Adaline. On New Year's Eve of the current year, she attends a party. On the wall hangs a photo of her with friends, clearly taken decades ago. She reminisces about that time. Then moves on to meet her friend Regan, who is playing the piano. Regan is blind and jokes with Adaline that only young people are after her, not knowing that Adaline does not age. A charming man enters the party, Ellis Jones. They exchange glances. At midnight, she says goodbye to Regan. As she leaves the party, he manages to get in the elevator with her, getting to know each other better on the ride down. Adaline introduces herself as her current alias Jennifer. He asks her to meet up with him again, but she politely declines, knowing that she can never fall in love because she can never have a normal future with anyone. The next day Adaline meets Fleming, who wishes her mother a happy birthday and catches up on recent events. At work, Ellis arrives and gives her books with flower names, his way of giving flowers. He asks Adaline to go on a date with him and eventually she agrees. The date takes place in a tunnel under San Francisco and he tells her about the history of the place, built during the gold rush, and about a boat that is very well preserved. He tells her a great deal about himself and then asks Adaline about her. All she is willing to say is, "I have a dog." As they walk, Adaline thanks him and mentions that she will be moving soon. He offers to tell her a joke and if she laughs, she'll have to go out with him again. He tells a long and terrible joke, but she laughs and agrees to meet once more. Adaline adds a cosigner to her account, her new identity, and has a flashback to when she opened the account. She had invested money and it paid off well. At her apartment, she feeds her doggy and later goes on her planned date with Ellis. They have a romantic dinner of hot dogs and wine while listening to jazz. Adaline is pleasantly surprised by his choice of food. He tells her about his family, more about his father who is an astronomer and discovered an unusual comet that made him famous. Ellis has seen Adaline before. The encounter at the party was no accident. He had his eye on her ever since he saw her sitting near the library in a blue dress. They share a special moment, but Adaline refuses to act on his feelings. He still notes that she has not told him much about herself, she just says it's better that way. He says it's not and they end up sharing a passionate kiss. In the morning, after a very long nap together, she helps him solve some problems with her Portuguese language skills and then leaves for work. While in a taxi, she remembers a man waiting for her with an engagement ring. Frightened, she asks the taxi driver to keep going. Back in the present, Adaline's dog falls ill. At the vet, the doctor says the dog's kidneys are failing and they will unfortunately have to put him down. Adaline has a moment with the pooch and later returns home alone. Her phone rings. She begins to ignore Ellis' calls. She goes through the photos of her puppy and adds them to her album. She cries over the fact that everyone she loves eventually leaves her. Ellis shows up at her apartment. He has found her address in the library. She is visibly upset. Adaline pushes him away. Later, she's at her daughter's apartment looking at some old photos of her. Adeline tells Fleming that she is tired of running away and lying to good people. She tells her about Ellis, and with her daughter's persuasion, Adeline has a change of heart. She visits his workplace and, through his colleague, manages to arrange a date at an old covered drive-in movie theater. She explains the story to him as if she had been there, which she was. They drink wine and look at the lighted ceiling. He asks her to come to his parents' 40th anniversary party. She agrees, but only if she is driving. On the way to his parents, Adeline amuses herself, while Ellis is holding on for his dear life. They also pick up Ellis' sister Kiki, who tries to embarrass her brother and his date, but Adeline quickly shuts her down. When they arrive, they are greeted by Ellis' mother Kathy, but when his father William arrives, he calls her by her real name Adeline. She corrects him, saying it's actually Jenny. William is very shaken and says he thinks of someone else. They were very close 50 years ago. Adeline tries not to burst into tears as she makes up the lie that Adeline is her mother. She tells William that Adeline has passed away, which shocks him. When everyone goes to bed, William still feels uneasy. He pours himself a glass of whiskey and reminisces about Adeline, how he helped her start her car, how she flew with him from London to America, and how she told him her real name even though she had an alias by then. In the morning they talk about how Adeline and Ellis met. William starts a topic about her mother and how she knew many languages. Ellis admits that Adeline is also multilingual. William starts talking about how intelligent and cultured she was. His face lights up as he talks about Adeline from back then. This upsets Kathy, who hates feeling like a second choice. William tells her he loves her and reassures her that she is the only one for him. Adeline and Ellis go for a walk. He apologizes for his father. That evening, they decide to play a tabletop trivia game about history, in which William has a 47-game winning streak. At first Adeline pretends not to know the answer, but after Ellis taunts her, she answers all the questions correctly, shocking the whole family as she answers questions that are basically meant to be unanswered and wins the game. Adeline is taking a walk when William startles her. They talk about stars as he turns the conversation to how he was going to propose to her mother, but she stood him up. He was the man on the bench from her memories. When William leaves, she tells him that Adeline loved him too. As she's about to go to sleep, Ellis tells her that he is falling in love with her and cannot imagine his life without her, even though they just met. She doesn't respond to him. In the morning, when the rest of the family has left on personal ventures, Adeline goes for a walk and runs into William. He tells her that she has a ladybug on her head and removes it, noticing a scar on her hand. Adeline walks away and William is shaken, as if remembering something. He has a flashback memory of them walking in the woods and her injuring her hand. In the present, William goes into a cabin and finds a box from 1966, and he remembers stitching up her hand. Back in the present, he finds a photo they took that day. William begins to put everything together. He drives to Adeline and confronts her. He tells her not to lie to him, knowing that he stitched her scar. He just wants to know the truth, how she hasn't aged at all. She doesn't know herself, but she reveals to him why she did not show up at the bench that day. She was scared. He begs her to stop running. Because of Ellis, she can live, but she will never have a life if she keeps this up. She flees through the forest and returns to the house. She then packs her things, writes a note to Ellis while he showers, and leaves the house, grabbing his car keys. William tries to stop her, but to no avail. Moments later, Ellis finds the letter. He confronts his father about it, but he refuses to explain. Adeline ignores Ellis's calls. William gives Ellis his car keys and wishes him luck. Adeline is tired of running away, always running and running. She stops the car, calls her daughter and says she doesn't want to run anymore. She turns the car around and a truck plows into her from the side. He backs up to check on her, but decides against it and drives off. Adeline lies unconscious on the ground. Inexplicably, it snowed in Sonoma County for the first time in 78 years. Ellis drives up and sees his car lying upside down in a ditch. He finds Adeline, whose heart has stopped, and tries to revive her. At the age of 107, Adeline is dead. The paramedics place 2 defibrillator paddles on Adeline's chest and administer 750 volts of electricity. She takes a breath and is rushed to the hospital. The doctor says she has suffered no long-term damage and is very lucky. He goes to check up on her. Ellis thinks she ran away because he opened up about his feelings, but she tells him to shut up, kisses him, and tells him she loves him too. She reveals her real name and age, and when Fleming comes to see her, she tells her that he knows she's her daughter. Somehow, he is unfazed. 1 year later, Adeline has a new puppy. Ellis and Adeline are going to a New Year's Eve party. When Adeline looks in the mirror, she notices silver hair and realizes that she is aging again, which makes her incredibly happy. Make sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.